This episode was sponsored by ExpressVPN and Fiverr. Stay tuned for more information later in the show.
Hello and welcome to the Death Battle cast. We are the cast and crew of Death Battle. My name is Ben. I am the voice of Wiz. Mike, this way to my this way.
Yeah, go to
I'm
me.
just
I got
assuming
this
we
one.
go.
Wait, my name is Sam, and I'm here to tell you about our sponsor, ExpressVPN. Lower third, please. And yeah, perfect. RTTV is sponsored by ExpressVPN. Protect your online privacy today at expressvpn.com/RTTV. Also, I'm Sam. I do stuff on Death Battle. Protect your data of VPNs. Good job. Next up.
Smooth transition.
Way to go.
I'm Luis, lead animator for Death Battle. And
Hey, Luis is here.
I'm here.
And
Some soundproof.
And there's the fourth guy that nobody cares about, right?
yeah, I guess the worst.
It's your boy.
Hey, I'm Chad. I play Boomstick.
Cheese.
Chad's back.
Currently, my hair is slowly taking over my body.
Yeah.
The other day we
dude,
watched.
I'm
The other day we
with
watched
you.
Hook
It's great.
with the kids. Yeah, your beard's getting strong.
I hate it. It's awful. Every day you accidentally chew on your mustache. Terrible. Anyways, continue.
dude, I trimmed my beard yesterday, and I was like, oh, this feels so nice. Yeah, no, we were watching Hook with the kids, and then I saw that drawing of Peter Pan, and I was like, oh fuck, it's me. Like, you know that beard? It's like this, and then it's got the fucking crazy hair, and I was like, oh great, get me some tights. And I got a sick cosplay coming.
Oh my god.
Hell
Yes,
yeah,
you
dude.
should totally. I mean, that has to happen now for next episode, right? Like, you got to show up as Peter
Yeah,
Pan.
yeah, there you are.
Well, thank you all for joining us. If you're watching us live on Wednesday, we will have a sneak peek of the upcoming death battle to show you guys. Obi-Wan Kenobi versus Kakashi is coming up. Star Wars versus Naruto, the first time we're ever pitting these two franchises together. And I think it's been a little while since we've had a Star Wars character in death battle. But it's going to be a pretty epic episode. So stick around for that, as well as, since Luis is here, we're going to be talking a little bit about the behind the scenes of animating Cable versus Booster Gold, which is definitely a very complicated episode.
Yes, it was. Yeah. we like, I think it's one of our longest episodes this year so far. And this was one of those like weird fights where we were starting to animate the fight in-house, and then we moved into quarantine. So we finished the fight away from the office, and that was a whole process, especially since we're so used to working together in the same like next to each other. Now we were like a few rooms.
Yeah. Well, also, Luis, because we mentioned it before the show came up, I do want to compliment your exquisite soundproofing of your room.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Right there. I ordered just one for an Amazon because my room is really big, so I was like, I need some soundproof, so I put just one there, and I think it works. People say it works, so
Totally.
I think it helps out a lot, definitely.
yeah.
All right. I think we know why everybody's here. Let's go ahead and get to that sneak peek and show off a little bit of Obi-Wan Kenobi versus
Nice,
Kakashi.
Southern. Just go right in. Go.
Another happy landing. Huh? Hello there.
Hold it. You're in Konoha territory. I have some questions, if you'll come with me.
You want to go home and keep reading your book?
I want to go home and keep reading my book. After I kick your ass!
The droid part's so good.
Oh my god!
Holy crap! That's
so
amazing.
Chad, you might remember recording the rundowns for this, the Obi-Wan liners that we've got in the rundown, and also basically half of Obi-Wan's dialogue in the fight is just one-liners from the prequels, and it's kind of fantastic. So this fight is animated by the what I've been calling the Triple D team, who worked on Ganondorf versus Dracula. Devil Artemis, Daito, and Duvad. This time they're led by Christina, who is apparently a huge fan of these characters, so it worked out great. And man, I'm
great.
excited to show you guys the rest of it.
Who voiced the droid?
That was me.
I don't think it did.
Was it really?
Was me just screaming into the mic? No, man, that would be difficult. No, that's the classic sound of R2-D2 getting killed in the first Star Wars movie. They did not mess around with him back in the day. Now he's the mascot and everything. So it's like, oh, we can't hurt R2-D2, but like they fucked him up in A New Hope.
That they did.
So this is a matchup that I know. Whenever we announced Obi-Wan Kakashi, there were two reactions. There was a big group of people who were like, "Oh, finally, this is a matchup that I've been wanting for a long time," and other people who were like, "What? Like it doesn't make any sense." And like crazy animation shenanigans versus Ewan McGregor. Okay, the whole concept of who would win in a fight, Jedi versus Ninja, is something that I've wanted to do in Death Battle for a long time. And this specific match is one that has always been on the top of my list. And the same goes for Liam, who helped write this episode. So I think it's going to be a good one. I'm excited to share this with you guys. It is going to air this weekend, this Sunday, for first members on Rooster Teeth, and then the following Monday on the Death Battle YouTube channel. And it is... it's fun. It's fun. Lots of Obi-Wan liners throughout the whole thing, which is great.
Yep.
The hello there, like it's so easy to get the Obi-Wan lines. He's got so many like memeable spots too. The fight. It's Christina, so it's very memey. Like,
oh yeah,
it's got him hidden about.
Christina has a lot of fun with her animation.
Yeah,
I mean, everybody's been talking about the dabs, right? That have been appearing in Death Battle. Who do you think is to blame for that?
Yeah, she is our dab connoisseur.
Yeah.
He's like a fucking sommelier of dabs. Like,
knows all the specifics, how to grade it. It's like a wine taster for dabs.
Yeah, it's like elbow angle and stuff. Like, yeah, it's tough. Like,
it's fucking weird, man. Like she used to like like she started dabbing in the office, and everyone just thought like, oh man, that's so cringy or whatever. And then eventually just a bunch of people just started dabbing in the office for no reason. It's like, okay, well, I guess he just kind of like made everybody like taste of this dabbing thing. And then they were like, oh, you know what? Let's put it in the season. Why not? It's like, okay. Well.
Yeah. I mean, last year, kind of one of our big like Easter eggs, which we haven't really talked about, was that a lot of past winners would appear in later Death Battles.
Specifically in the 3D ones.
Yeah. So this year, apparently, it became Spot the Dab. I don't know why.
Well,
it just sort of happened.
They were hiding dabs in older episodes, and at least I know in some of the DBXs last year too. Like y'all would hide dabs.
Oh my god!
Yeah, it's always fun
Zach
when your
used to
animation
hide
team tries
the
to hide
squirrel.
shit from you. That's great.
Yeah. Zach used to hide the squirrel. Like,
yeah,
some of Torian's he hid like Sanix and stuff in it. Like, yeah. It seems like everybody was hiding something.
Yeah, when I was freelancing, I used to hide a retro TV in the fights. So I stopped doing that when I was in the office, but like I guess the dab thing is now the next evolution of that.
I do love it when animators have like a signature, essentially, a little thing that appears in each fight that they work on. So something like that for
Christina's is tapping.
it's
Speaking of, Jackie's in the chat, and she said she's never dabbed before. Jackie, you should put out a tweet. Put out a
Yeah,
tweet.
I mean, that's gotta change.
Do it.
Knock one out right now, Jackie. Just see
Yeah,
how it feels.
come on.
Fit it. Try it on for size.
Yeah, you can hate on it all you want after that, but if you've never done it, how do you know? You could love it.
Yeah, it could be your favorite thing in the world.
Right.
Oh no.
The,
Oh my god.
the next fight coming up after this one did not. I went through it this past week, and it didn't have a dab, so I had to go into one of the shots and animate a dab into it. So
No, you didn't. You really didn't. You
He
really
did.
didn't.
I had to. It's like it needs to be there. Like it was like it was a glaring issue in the fight, so I had to go back and fix that. So thanks, Christina. Look at what I become. I'm looking for the dab so I can add it in.
Do that. Can we end that at this season break? Then after
I was
when it comes
just
back-
about to say the same thing.
We'll figure something out.
That is something to talk about. Like, we're coming up on the mid-season finale for this season of Death Battle. We've only got 3 more episodes, including Obi-Wan Kakashi, and then Death Battle goes on a little bit of a break, and then DBX takes over for a little while. And we'll definitely talk more about DBX when we get closer to that time. But it is coming up. But then, of course, Death Battle will come back in the latter half of this year. So we will have, again, a full 20-episode season from the start till the end of the year. And holy crap, we've already been working on, like, the season finale of the whole year. It's crazy how far ahead we are. It's nuts. And I'm so excited to get into all these episodes. And at the very tail end of the year, I'm getting way too ahead of myself, but at the very tail end of the year, we are approaching 10 years of Death Battle, which, God,
That is a lot of time. Yeah.
blows my mind.
Well, it's crazy
I
too,
have
because it's like
no idea.
Screw Attack didn't even start with Death Battle. Like we worked for years, and then Death Battle happened. And it's just like, God, 10 years of just that show is insane.
Yeah. And it has traveled across Screw Attack and Full Screen and Rooster Teeth and YouTube and Revision 3 going all the way back then. Like, I'm sure we'll have some amazing, like, nostalgia, trips back in time when we get close to the end of the year, just looking back on all that craziness. But right now, let's go ahead and jump into what's going on.
Hey, everybody. Before we get on with the show, let's talk about this weird world we live in. We're all stuck inside. Quarantine is a strange thing, but it's also an opportunity. You probably have a little bit of extra time on your hands, and now might be the best time to work on that thing you've always wanted to work on. What is it? Well, I don't know, but you do. It could be a play or a show or, just some graphic design work or concept art for something. Maybe it's a D&D campaign that you really want to take to the next level, and you're wondering, how do I get started? Like, I don't have all the skills. Well, Fiverr has all those skills. Fiverr is a website of professionals that you can hire to help you with virtually anything you can think of. It is amazing. You can search by services, deadline, prices, reviews, and more. You'll know exactly what you're getting for the price you spend when you look at a professional. It's like, oh, hey, I need graphic design. I need a logo for my D&D campaigns, like party. You can go and you can find somebody to do that, and they'll have a set price, and you can pay it, and you will get your logo, and it will look awesome, and there's no negotiations needed. If there is any issues, you have 24/7 customer service. The quality of talent's awesome. I mean, sellers have worked with some of the most influential brands in the world. Finding talent for your project has never been easier thanks to Fiverr. So check out Fiverr, that's Fiverr.com today, and receive 10% off your first order by using our code CAST. So it's easy. Find all the digital services you need in one place at Fiverr, Fiverr.com. CAST is that code you use there. So just Fiverr.com, promo code CAST. It's really easy. You can find somebody to help you with virtually anything. I mean, anything. Screenplays, copy editing, whatever you want, man. You can find it, get some professional help, and make that thing you've always wanted to make. So go out there, get some Fiverr.
So I think there are two things we can talk about. Chad, you mentioned you have a story, but before we get to that, Luis, let's talk a little bit about Cable versus Booster Gold. So if you haven't seen Cable versus Booster Gold yet, it's been out for over a week, so I don't know what you've been doing. But Luis was the lead animator for that. And we don't often get a lot of time to talk about like the behind the scenes of the animation itself outside of maybe commentaries. So I figured it would be great to have you on the show and kind of talk a bit about like the process of animating a sprite fight, especially like a comic book one that gets kind of crazy with time travel and all these effects and things like that. Can you kind of, for those who haven't even like heard about it before, can you kind of run through the process that you tend to go through, Luis?
Yeah, for sure. In terms of like what we do before we get started for any death battle at all is we take a look at resources that we have. Basically, we go look for sprites and stuff like that, and see what we're missing and stuff like that based on the script. So we then from that we make like a list of things that we need for assets for the fight, and we then go to someone like Jerky, who is our sprite artist, to then make assets for us. And if they are, not that difficult, then we leave that to the animator. But this one was like pretty crazy with all the time traveling stuff that we had. Because of all that means that we had to make even more different like locations and stuff for the fight, which was pretty crazy. Specifically, we use the same city that we have been using this year, but every time we use it, we had to change it specifically for those fights. So there's like we're always like changing it in like different ways and stuff. To the point where like if you compare the same city from like the beginning of the year to now, it's completely different. it's pretty crazy.
Something that kind of surprised me going into animation was one of the most difficult things to implement with 2D animation isn't necessarily the characters, it's the backgrounds. That
absolutely.
can be some of the most tedious work, is to just make sure the background for one shot is good to go, because every single shot will need different stuff added to it. And this doesn't apply to just Death Battle and sprite animations, but to every 2D show that Rooster Teeth does. The backgrounds take forever. Mm-hmm. So it's definitely handy to have that city that we're able to edit and stuff. Of course, it's not going to fit every fight we do.
Of course not.
When it can,
like it's just we use it as a base. Basically, we don't try to like we don't go like, oh, we already have a city, let's just use the same city and whatever. It's like, oh yeah, we have the city, but how can we change it to accommodate the fight? You know what I mean? Because like we want the background to feel like different in some way in all the fights. So we keep that in mind, as well as like, keep in mind how many backgrounds we need for the fight. For specifically for this one, we're using 3 different backgrounds or sets. Basically, it's the old city, the new like the new city, the one in the future, and a forest. So based on that, we try to change things to make it accommodate for the fight. Especially like it helps when we can change the lighting in the scenery very easily because there are 3D backgrounds.
Yeah, I mean, just like having it be at night in a static miles like that obviously is a huge change, but it's the same city. Yeah,
you can see like even in this background, you can still see the dent that like that they left in miles static, and it's been there in the map throughout this entire like season. So like it's canon that the city is the place where everything takes place.
Dude, don't buy property there.
Well,
so
like,
your only
just
mate,
make sure you have insurance. But
your only mate wants to know, Luis, he wanted to ask, whose idea was that Cable dat ass angle at the beginning of the fight?
Well, it's funny you say that, because like that job was made by Gus, who also made the fight for Gohan Superboy. I mean, for Gohan Superboy, where you can see
from last year's DBX.
Superboy. Yeah, you can see the
we had
ass,
like the
bro.
same shot. That's funny. I
Oh,
didn't know that.
Well, clearly
So-
he's an ass man.
It looks like we have a new trend after dabbing. It's like always like the ass shot. You just make
We're gonna
that
get
a
that
thing.
butt cheek shot in every death battle now.
Oh god.
Oh no.
Yeah, let's go for it, yo.
Oh my god. So one of the big
Also-
things.
I just wanted to mention something else as well. Most of the fights are done without the background, except for 2D, specifically for 2D fights, because we tend to work on a fighting perspective. You know what I mean? Like it's character A is here, character B is here, and they fight. You know, so usually
You animate the characters first, then kind of implement backgrounds later. Unless like objects and stuff are involved, then that obviously
the
has to
objects
be-
are those are usually rendered out for the animators, and if they're not, we use a temporary like object, like a square, basically, where we say this is where the object is gonna be, basically, and then we edit the animation to have the object in. So it's a whole process going from like finished animation to post production to final. So
yeah.
it can get pretty crazy.
And so we can't say what the fight is, but the episode that comes up after Obi-Wan versus Kakashi is also animated by Luis and his team, and it's definitely one of the most detailed and crazy kind of fights that they've done in a long time. Like a lot of custom work going into the. It's not even really sprites. Like you're using like the puppetry stuff.
It's compared to Mild Static, but like if we took that a little like higher quality, you know, like more detail. And
This one's gonna be spicy too.
Yeah. Looking forward to sharing that with you guys. So definitely stick around till the end of Obi-Wan versus Kakashi when that episode comes out to see what Luis's team is animating next. And Chad, you had something you wanted to talk about, right?
Oh, yeah, sure. Totally different vein here, but yeah, no, I hit my quarantine breaking point this past weekend.
Fun.
I had a full-on emotional breakdown, which I've never had in my life before. That was fun. It's like there's been like a million little things, right? Like, you know, you've heard all the crazy stories, right? But I mean, like even down to like just offhand, right before we started recording, I went down to like grab a quick bite of food, and April had made the kids a sandwich, and one of the dogs stole the sandwich out of Kira's hand. Last night, the moment I sat down for the first time after getting the kids to bed and everything, Kira comes out, said, "Logan's out of his bed, and I found ants in my bed." Why? So it's just like there's a million of those little things that you don't hear about that have just been like constantly building up. The fucking dog, like one of our dogs, Mike, you've heard many stories about him. He's insane. He broke me. He was the one.
The dog
Mike
broke
did
you.
it?
It was the dog. It was the dog that did it, dude. It was the final straw. So we were like you're just trying to do everything we can to like give the kids something fun and entertaining during this time. So April had the idea. She ordered a tent, and we were gonna do a camp out in the backyard. We're like, oh, that'll be fun. So like,
Yeah,
I
that's
grilled
dank. I remember
food.
that
Yeah,
as a
like
kid. It was sweet.
yeah, it's awesome. We grilled. We like roasted marshmallows. We brought in air mattresses into this tent and like had a whole fun time. I even brought a TV in there, like, and everybody cuddled and like watched a movie, and it was wonderful. And then it was time to fall asleep. Well, we couldn't have the dogs outside because Mike wouldn't be contained by the tent, but he'd want to keep going in and out, and then also he'd probably bark and stuff, and we don't want to wake up the neighbors. So I locked him inside, and when I say locked him inside, I literally had to lock us out of the house, like lock the house up because he can open doors. So we're all trying to go to bed. Everybody else manages to. At 1 o'clock in the morning, Mike just starts freaking out. He is barking and howling and barking and howling and barking and howling. He does not stop. And by 3:30 in the morning, he had the neighbor's dogs barking too. And I'm like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I hadn't gotten any sleep. I'm like, all right, I'm just going to go inside so the kids can still have a nice time. And, you know, April's obviously with them. So I'm like, all right. So I go inside. The second I walk in the door, I find that there is trash strewn everywhere because Mike had somehow gotten into the trash because he was having a panic attack that he couldn't be outside with us. And he then pulled all the trash out and ripped it up into tiny little pieces, and it was strewn all over our downstairs. So as I'm cleaning that up, I noticed that he peed all over our master bedroom because, again, he was freaking out. So it's about 3:40 in the morning, and I'm cleaning up trash and piss, and then I put the mattress back on our bed because we were like, oh, this is perfect time. We'll be camping outside, so we'll clean the mattress. So I had to get that all set up.
What's going on in the tent right now as all this is happening? Everybody else is asleep?
April and the kids are asleep, yeah.
So it's just you dealing with it.
So, yeah, it's just me. So I'm like, all right, I got all that cleaned up. I re-got the mattress back in our bed because we, of course, were like, we're going to be camping in the tent. Now's the perfect time to like clean the mattress cover and all that, right?
Yeah.
So I get that all set up, and then right as I'm about to fall asleep, April had woken up. And it's like 5 a.m. She comes in, and I was almost asleep, and then that woke me up, and then like the kids were up, so then I had to get up with the kids, and so then I'm exhausted. I'm on no sleep. All this stuff has happened. This dog has ruined so many things, and I'm just like, oh my god! I swear, if one more thing happens, and the kids are like, so the kids wanted Mike out. I put him in the cage. That after I got back in, and for the first time ever, he stayed in the cage because he can just break through it. And so
Of course
the kids were like, well, yeah, right. You can't contain him. And so the kids were like, oh, well, where's Mike? And I'm like, he's in the cage because he's a monster. And then they were like, oh, let Mike out. I'm like, all right. So I go and I let Mike out of the cage. I'm like, all right, well, I better let him outside to go pee. So I open the back door. And the first thing he does, which Mike doesn't really jump on things, but for some reason, the second I open the door, he goes running outside and he jumps up against the corner of the tent. And that just happened to be the corner where I had my TV, causing the TV to flip off the thing that it was on and shatter.
Oh my god!
Wow, what?
At this time, my son is pulling on my pants, asking for toast. So that was it. That was the final straw. I ended up I just broke down, and I was just crying over a toaster.
Wow. That sounds.
Oh my god!
I'm so sorry. That sounds awful.
Did
you send Mike to like a farm upstate or like what? I feel like that's at that point where you're just like, hey,
Well, see,
farm time, bud. Like
that's the problem. Is that like he's such a good
Your kid
companion
love him
for
way too
Kira,
much.
and like like because April's also. Oh yeah, and sorry. And then the next thing I did, I went and I ripped up all the carpet in our master bedroom because I'm done. And there was so much dog piss in it from.
you just ripped
Mike.
up you just tore.
Oh,
the
you just
carpet
got
out.
rid of it?
There's no
Yeah.
carpet in our master
Oh my
bedroom. Right now.
god!
I just ripped it all out.
Wow.
Um,
So a
and,
lot has happened.
yeah.
Holy crap!
and it's like, man, that's wild. Like, I don't know. I always be like, I can handle a lot, and like I just always kind of like grin and bear it, and like, whatever. Nope, it was too much. So, yeah, that picture that. That's my quarantine breaking point is crying over a toaster.
God.
Wow, that's some shit, man.
Yeah, it was wild. But so anyway, April comes out at this point, and I'm just like, and so then she was like, I don't know, should we just get rid of the dog? And then Kira, of course, is just like, oh, and I'm like, no, we can't get rid of the dog. Obviously, it's like it's not his fault. He's got all these anxiety problems and shit. But like, yeah, it sure does add a lot of stress. And like, but it's already a crazy, stressful, scary time for the kids. We're not gonna get rid of their dog. It's like, anyway.
That's wild.
Everybody in the chat is like, this is proof that dogs are the worst. I'm
No,
like,
dogs
oh, no.
are awesome.
No, they're not.
Dogs are great.
I have cat. I can tell you, dogs are better.
Then Lottie, then you cat.
Yeah.
You got like
Have
you got like
have
a
you been
1 in
looking at-
10 chance of getting a good cat, but you got like a 7 out of 10 chance of getting a good dog.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, good cats are super rare. But that sounds like some shit. That's rough.
Dude, it's wild. It's like there's so many things, and help.
Well,
Like,
good news. Texas is about to open back up, so maybe you can get your kids back in that.
Well, that's the other problem. But then it's
childcare.
like just because Texas is opening back up doesn't mean it's socially responsible to keep doing that. And like we have children, so like extra conscious of like that. That's like, man.
Mhm.
Well, they
Yeah,
won't get
it's-
sick, or assume not. Like children don't really get it. You and April have to worry though, for sure.
Is
Yeah.
that-
Kids
I
can
don't
get
know
it,
if
but
that's
it's much.
true.
They can, but
Kids
it's much
can't
much
get
harder.
it. Okay.
Oh, they can.
But also with
They're
their immune system,
typically
they're always sick.
asymptomatic carriers. Yeah.
Mhm.
And obviously, flat
Yeah.
the curve, you shouldn't do any of that. You'd be responsible. But our government is stupid as fuck. So whatever. Like, I'm in the yeah. Everybody else is about to fuck this shit up, y'all. So like, I don't know, fuck it up with them. Like, it's like
I
being
know.
part of a riot and being like, "Hey guys, don't riot," and it's like, fuck it, let's loot a little bit. Like,
No, throwing
that's
that
like
chair looks
kinda
real
where I'm
fun.
at. Yeah, right. Like, it's right, but also, doing that's not gonna make a fucking difference right now. So just go with it.
I'm gonna reference a really, really old skateboard video that most people probably won't get, but there was a video called Destroying America, and they basically just like went around to all these skate spots across America with this van, but then they would like ramp the van off of shit and like skate it. So like by the end of it, this van was just like a piece of shit, right? Like it had just been beaten to hell. Well, when they had they hosted a premiere for showing off the skate movie Destroying America, and they had the van there. And so they thought it would be fun to let the crowd, like everybody, like, hey, here's a bat, like take a swing at the van, whatever, and people could like get in line. Only what happened is they just watched the skate video where they're like fucking everything up. Sam, you remember because I showed you this video.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
And so like it starts out, people are like hitting it with the bat, and like whatever. And the funniest fucking moment is one person. Everyone was sitting in plastic white lawn chairs. And just one person throws a fucking white lawn chair. It just comes flying in from off camera and hits the van. And then like 30 goddamn lawn chairs just come flying in. And then everyone starts like rushing the van. And like Riot Squad had to come in and like shut it down because people were all just trying to destroy this fucking van. And it started a riot.
There's literally nothing that incites like mob mentality more than throwing a chair. Like once a chair gets thrown, like all rules of society are fucking off, y'all. Like chairs in the air, let's fucking go. This is some
That's the
different
line.
Shit. Yeah,
dude.
Chairs in the air, like the world doesn't make any sense anymore. Fucking ruin shit. Like I love it. Like watch any video where a chair gets thrown and shit pops off. It is so good. Oh man, I want to throw a chair.
Do it, Sam.
So excited. Yeah, one of these days. You can't really pop off in quarantine. It's kind of difficult, but yeah. Definitely keeps you away from mob mentality. Well, I say that, and then there's all those assholes down at like the city hall and shit. So,
yeah, you could go get the anti-vaxxers out there to pop off and start throwing chairs and flipping cars. Oh my god!
Yeah,
well, that's things like even when the lockdown is in place, people are still going out to Barton Springs and like partying, and it's like, what are you doing? Like once they say everything's open, it's about to get fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Be responsible, everybody.
And please don't go out and hoard all the toilet paper again, because I'm kind of imagining another hoarding session is going to happen when everything opens up. Because half the people are going to be like, everything's open, we're fine, and the other half are going to be like, oh no, it's going to get even worse. So it could get even more chaotic. Who knows?
Please don't lick old people, please.
Don't lick old people or toilet seats.
Yeah.
Oh god, that shit.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, the next death battle we're animating needs to start with somebody throwing a chair. I'm just saying.
You know that might.
We can do some cheer those.
I'm not gonna say anything.
Maybe we can. Maybe we can.
There's definitely something being thrown in the next one Luis was working on, but we'll get to that after Obi-Wan Kenobi versus Kakashi. Also, I didn't even mention it. Obi-Wan versus Kakashi. Turns out it's airing on May the 4th, Star Wars Day.
Which is a banger, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It
just kind of worked out that way. We didn't originally plan on that being the date. We were just kind of like, this will be a fun episode to do, and it'll work well with the Source Filmmaker guys. And then the way the schedules worked out, we were like, well, here's May the 4th. I guess it was fated to be this way. Let's do it. Just the way the new bi-weekly schedule is working. Just worked out real well.
Just like cable being in Fortnite as well, so, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of the like reverse Uno of that.
Yeah, the reverse. Yeah.
Like days before Cable versus Booster Gold comes out, freaking Cable's announced for Fortnite of all things. Like, how does that even happen?
Dude, Fortnite doesn't even make sense anymore. That game's getting wild. They're just like anything that'll make money. Let's do that.
You should have changed the title. of the
We're a
episodes
year
from,
and a
like,
half away from being in
Fortnite.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
not
instead of
Marvel
X-Men,
versus-
it's
Cable
Cable
from
from
Fortnite.
Fortnite.
It's not Marvel versus DC anymore. It's it's Fortnite versus DC.
Yo, go check the
That's
metadata.
what
If
it's
that's not in
called now.
tags, you fucked up.
You know, it probably isn't because we set that up before the Fortnite stuff happened. But oh well. Oh no. All right. I think it's time to jump into this week's community death battle. So, because Obi-Wan is coming up, and so is May the 4th, apparently, we've got General...
Grievous?
Yeah. General Horrible versus...
Are we adding it to
Why
our
General
collection?
Horrible?
It's like,
Why do you not like General Grievous?
Grievous is just such a stupid name. Like, I just
for the
hate
longest
name
time,
so
for
much.
some
they
reason, I thought it
all
was.
have dumb names.
Yeah, I
Not-
thought it was
it-
Gravicius for a long time. I don't know why.
I mean, that
'Cause that's
sounds
a
like
way
more of
better
a
name.
Star Wars name.
General
than just-
Gravicius sounds like a way better name.
It's not just a word. Like,
Yeah.
it could have been General Evil, General Angry, General Grievous. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's just a word. Anyway, versus the Arbiter from Halo, which I guess is also just a word, but it's a title, whatever. What's his name? Like Thal something? He's got a weird name that I don't know, nobody remembers. But anyway, as always with community death battles, we leave it up to you guys to let us know who you think should win and why, as well as suggesting new ones. So I will be looking at the chat if you're watching this live. Feel free to suggest new ideas for the next community death battle, and we might pick your
have a
suggestions for the
suggestion.
next one.
I have a
Or
suggestion.
we'll pick
for the next
chats
one, though.
and just
Yeah,
ruin all
I'm
the
down.
community
Undermine the
interaction.
system.
Yeah.
Throw a chair.
He needs a win. He needs a win.
Don't do it, chaos.
You know what?
Again.
After everything Chad has been through, I think you guys will agree that he deserves this.
Yeah.
So we will
He
let
needs to
Chad
win.
pick the next community death battle. So,
I
but
don't
we'll
know if
save
we've
that.
done it before, but there's a reason.
Yeah,
I'm doing this,
yeah, okay.
Because I want to keep
Well,
the Star
we'll-
Wars thing going, but we'll get onto that after.
Sure. We'll get into
Okay,
that after this. But then we'll jump into your answers for Grievous versus Arbiter. Let's go ahead and bring up the first one. For Grievous, I assume?
This one comes from
Grievous- okay.
Marceline? Marceline Abdir? Sure. Grievous cannot match several Jedi at once. Match Obi-Wan in combat. Backflip over lasers. Is superior to Magna Guard. I almost said manga. To Magna Guards, which work at near light speed. Overall, much more skill with his 4 lightsabers. This energy sword will make a fine addition to his collection. Yep, there it is.
Of course. The prequel memes have to be here. Oh man, that's basically
He delivers it so weird. So make a
Oh, like that's the prequels. The prequels are absolute shit except for 2 things: the music, because it's John Williams, and just the cringy, horrible dialogue that has become memes. Like that's what you got from it.
Literally,
Everything
the
else can just
prequels-
go away.
They are more meme than anything else. Like the prequels
Mhm.
are so heavily memed. I mean, mainly it's because of like some super popular subreddits and stuff. But seriously, they like I can't think of a movie that has more like memes per capita than the prequels do.
I hate sand.
Yeah, fuck.
It's because none of the characters talk like people. All the
Yeah,
characters
right.
talk like robots. Like so naturally, we get memes out of all the dialogue. And it's not even the actor's fault. It's just the script is just so bad. Anyway, let's get the answer from you guys up for the Arbiter, who's not quite nearly as memey.
And this one comes from Jordan Cattle. A lot of you are saying Grievous has killed several Jedi, yet he used his army and personal guards to help him. He was never alone. Every time he nearly lost and ran away. 1v1, I reckon the Arbiter has this in the bag. Brute strength and fast. He's my bet.
So this is the thing.
His argument was less for Arbiter and more just against Grievous.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fair though, because Grievous, like the way he's presented, right? He's supposed to be this badass Jedi killer who has these collections of lightsabers, and he's supposed to be the deadliest like anti-Jedi duelist or whatever. He uses lightsabers even though he doesn't have the Force, etc. But like outside of the Tartakovsky cartoon, Grievous is kind of a chump. Like, he sucks in the movies. He doesn't accomplish anything in the movies. The one movie that he's in, for some reason, it never explains why he's there. He's just like, oh, now we got to kill this guy to end the war. Why? I don't know. Whatever. Let's go.
It's so he could fight Yoda.
And in the cartoon, he's just kind of a bumbling idiot. Like, every so often there'll be an episode, especially later on in the Clone Wars cartoon, where he's kind of scary. They present him as more of an intimidating presence. But for the most part, he's intimidating when he's got a giant army of droids behind his back. There is one episode where, I can't remember the full context of it, but some Jedi go to a planet, and it turns out Grievous just has this lair in the middle of this random planet. It's just like this cave that he lives in. And that one episode is about him hunting a bunch of Jedi. And out of 4 or 5 Jedi, he kills one of them, and it's a Padawan who just kind of rushes him with no strategy. And that's it. That's basically Grievous's best thing that we get to see in the series. He just kills some random kid with a lightsaber. I mean, Anakin did that in spades in the movie. Like,
he's killing so many younglings. Sorry, Sam sends me this meme every once in a couple of years, and it makes me laugh.
Anytime we talk about a Yingling, dude, I can kill some Yinglings right now.
I just want to say, is what the fuck is Grievous gonna do against a sticky grenade?
Yeah, I mean, not a lot. I think that's it. People just in the comments, I had to scroll so far down to find anything besides there was plenty of Arbiter wins, but an argument of somebody that was thinking about it. I don't think anyone really was thinking about the fact that the Arbiter doesn't just have an energy sword, especially even though we're most likely talking about the Halo Wars Arbiter, which has 2, which is cool. But he also got a
battle
whole
rifle,
arsenal of. Yeah, well, I mean, I assume we only give him
rifle.
the alien guns, the Covenant guns, right? That's
See, we could look
guns.
at Killer Instinct and see what he took into battle there, and he has sticky grenades, he has his energy sword, and he has his plasma rifle.
Yeah, plasma rifle, which is one of the Covenant guns. Yeah,
right.
So
That's what
I think that's fair. Yeah, and it's and he's a way better shot than a fucking stormtrooper. So yeah, I feel like people aren't taking that into consideration at all.
I mean, Grievous. So this actually comes up in the death battle when we were talking about Obi-Wan's lightsaber. So don't want to get too into it, but Grievous's armor is specifically built to survive against what is it exactly? Starship cannons, essentially. So a starship could shoot him, and he could potentially survive. Whether or not that would include sticking a grenade inside of the armor, because it's not like he's completely armored from head to toe. He's got all sorts of spaces and stuff. That probably wouldn't help too much, but the armor is super durable. So he could take quite a few hits from, I really doubt the plasma rifle is going to do much against Grievous. It would be hard to get a grenade in somewhere that could be fatal to Grievous. But then again, Arbiter is always supposed to be a very deadly warrior, making his last hurrah, essentially, for the Zuko story, for honor, right? That's the Arbiter thing.
Yeah.
And he's given everything he needs to make that happen, including invisibility, which Grievous does not have.
Oh, that's true.
Grievous does not have the Force.
And fucking plasma shields, that's a thing too that Arbiter has.
True.
I think a lot of people are just he's
also,
a weird predator mouth alien with swords. No, this guy's got a lot more fucking going on, and he has armor too. That is also at least some significant.
Yeah, if he gets a hold of a rocket launcher, all he has to do is put the reticle on him and then quickly swap to a sword, and he can fly across the entire place. There's an old reference to a Halo 2 bug that was really fun.
But I do feel like grenades and rockets are a great way to try and kill a Jedi, because they try and reflect everything back, and it's you can't if you try and do that with a grenade, it's just gonna blow up in your fucking face. It's still gonna work just fine.
But that's when they force push it away.
But Grievous can't do
what
that.
a grenade is.
Right, Grievous.
So,
but you Sam said
it kind of works.
I mean, he did tank a rocket launcher, but that was in the animated cartoon, so I'm not sure if that's actually canon or not. So
I'm gonna
which
say
cartoon?
Arbiter.
The
The,
original
uh,
one,
Yeah,
The
yeah,
first
the
one?
original one. Yeah, the
Samurai
first one.
Jack one. Yeah, in that one, Grievous is badass, and he just takes out this whole squad of Jedi.
He's insane in
effortlessly.
that.
Like, and that was how he was first introduced. Even before the movies came out, they had him appear in the cartoon, and then I think Mace crushes his. He crushes something inside of Grievous that then causes the coughing in the movie,
Yes.
which is
'Cause that
so
makes sense.
dumb in the movie. Like,
That's
he's
a
supposed to be this
RoboCop.
intimidating presence, and he's like, "Haha, I'm so evil. Look at my lightsaber." Sorry, got it cold.
I kind of feel like that was a little bit like influenced by like the Darth Vader-y like aspect, and they just like went the wrong direction with it, right? Like,
Yeah.
because
100%.
Darth Vader
the
is
intent-
absolutely
like
what
he
they're
has
trying
a
to do.
problem too. Like, yeah,
I think the intent of Grievous in the movie was to say, like, this is prototype Darth Vader, right? Like, he's clearly not a robot. He's got like organs and stuff. So Palpatine built Grievous, and then Grievous had a lot of problems. So then he improved that design for Vader. I think that was the original intent. I don't think it really comes off that way at all, but like, that's just how the prequels work. Like, you can kind of interpret all sorts of weird things off of them.
and
But
I understand that, but like if you were gonna write them from like the prequels forward, and it's like, hey guys, we had like, let's look at the problems Grievous had. One aspect of Grievous you definitely don't remove is having 4 fucking arms, because that shit is hella badass. Like, imagine if they were just like, that worked well. How about we go more? And then Darth Vader had 6 arms. Like, that would be so fucking cool. Like, Darth Vader would be like, like unstoppable, right?
spider.
Like, yeah, dude, fucking yeah. Spider Vader would be the tits. Like,
Palpatine just
he
keeps
probably
adding
wouldn't
arms to
look-
things.
probably wouldn't look as intimidating.
It wouldn't.
he's
It would
really
have looked
fucking
so dumb. You would never have been able to take him seriously.
It would.
Imagine all those imposing shots of Vader, but instead he's got like, or
Well, no,
if
that's
he's
the thing.
not like he's got the cloak, so then he'd just have to hold them all. They'd all just be like this around like his lower chest.
Well,
He extends
I
his
think what-
arms to like move the Dakota away, and then like all the arms revealed. It's like, oh, that's the
Yeah,
big
yeah.
reveal.
But I think that would be the thing. Is it wouldn't be until literally the very, very end when he actually brings out the other 4 arms. Like, yeah, it would be
White-
everything.
white-
Like, and then he's got
White
these
Oak.
robot arms behind him, like coming around.
It's like, how
White
do you
Oak in
talk
the
like?
chat. Real quick, White
Someone's
Oak,
gonna do
in the
fan
chat
art
is
of
trying to call me out and say like, wrong, Dooku built Grievous, blah 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 blah. I'm talking about initial intent here. Like, all the extra Star Wars like expanded universe shit is like all about fixing the prequels. Like, that's what that stuff is all about. So I don't care if Dooku built him. The original intent of the movie seemed to me to be, this is prototype Darth Vader. That's what I was talking about. But anyway, let's go ahead and get
Don't
into
call out Ben Star Wars.
the answer for
Wars
this.
nerd.
yeah, fuck you. No.
Let's get into it.
So as always,
What?
well, okay, here it is. Grievous wins.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I appreciate the double swords.
yeah. Alien, 2 swords, robot, 4
Alien.
swords.
Damn, it's
Arbiter
kinda
can
blurry on
hold
my
2
screen.
swords.
I thought it was.
Grievous can hold
I
4.
thought it was footprints at first. I was like, why the fuck do you have
No.
footprints?
It's just because the aliens like emoticon gray is
gray.
like the exact same gray as that bar, so it's really hard. He has got no outline, but yeah, it's alien 2 swords, robot 4 swords.
Got it.
Oh yeah, okay. I thought it was weird footprints too, like angles.
Yeah, that's just 'cause the
combined by
color.
angle.
It is the
All right, Chad.
alien emoji.
What is this this community death battle you want to do?
I thought, because I want to keep it up, because this, we're going to be talking all about Star Wars, and May the 4th is coming up and all that.
Yeah,
I know
absolutely.
it's something we've talked about a lot. I don't think we talked about it on Community Death Battle. But Han Solo versus Indiana Jones.
Ooh.
The
I
Harrison
do
Ford
not
battle.
believe we have done that as a community death battle.
I Google searched it while you were talking earlier and I didn't find it.
The,
So I don't
check
know.
out
We've
the
done a
death
lot
battle
of
wiki.
shows.
Does
Oh
Harrison
no,
Ford,
Google! I didn't want you. Sorry, my phone.
does Han Solo have a thermal detonator? Because I think that one probably just like wraps it up for us.
Not
If
necessarily.
he can throw it, I don't know.
King Han-
Like Indiana
King
Jones
Han
got a whip.
Solo-
He's got some range. They both have guns.
Yeah, he might be able to whip a grenade away, like a thermal. That would actually
Totally.
kind of be very Indiana Jones ish.
Also, can
So-
Han Solo
Yeah.
move his neck around like a jelly? Like, is
Also-
that possible?
Oh, to dodge laser
There's-
fire.
Yeah, it's a lot
There's-
laser. Yeah.
There's like
whips.
I understand in Star Wars like laser guns intimidating, but there's no reason Han Solo shouldn't still be very afraid of a gun, like a traditional bullet gun,
So
which
guns
Indiana Jones
still
definitely
exist.
has.
Guns still exist,
Yeah.
like projectile weapons still exist in the Star Wars universe.
Mhm.
They kind of removed them for the most part with the Disney acquisition, so they don't have the guns in their shows and things like that. But they've always existed, and so I would say the Legends versus canon is kind of still in a weird place because it's still so new, like the new timeline. So I don't know. Like for something like a community death battle, I would say, you can take whatever Legends material you want. It's just for fun. So all right, yeah, sounds great to me. Indiana Jones versus Han Solo is our next community death battle.
Who's the ultimate
let's
Ford?
Do it. Who is the ultimate Harrison Ford?
The Blade Runner one, maybe. But yeah,
We don't need to get
just
into all
pops
this.
in randomly. I mean that's the sequel. All right, so let us know who you think should win between Han and Indy using hashtag DeathBattleCast on Twitter, and we will have a poll up later on this week, and you can cast your vote there, and then we will discuss it in the next episode, which will air shortly after May the 4th, and right after Obi-Wan versus Kakashi, and we will, I believe, have our Q&A. And I think Liam might be joining us for that episode as well. So that'll be fun.
Yep.
All right. Thank you all for
Cool.
joining us for this episode of
Bye.
Death Battle Cast. We will see you next week.
Bye.
Oh wait, real quick. You're supposed to go watch Last Laugh on roosterteeth.com. I'm supposed to say that. Okay, now
What
bye.
a shining endorsement. Hey,
Hey,
Funhouse has a new show. It's really fun. We locked a bunch of funny people in a room, and the goal was to not laugh. And even if they cracked a smile, they would lose a life. And after you lose, I think 3 lives, you're eliminated. It was a grueling experience for everyone, not laughing for as much as possible. But it's really funny, so you should go check it out. It's on
We're all trying to make
roosterteeth.com
each
right
other
now.
laugh.
Yes.
It's not like
They're
everyone's just
constantly-
sitting in a room.
Right. They're all trying to make each other laugh, but also not laugh. It's really fun. You should. There's a couple real fun moments. I was watching when they were recording it, and there's a lot of funny moments where you just watch people doing everything to just try not to laugh. Like I saw people just like try and like leave their body to be like, I can't break. It's really fun. Go check it out.
All right. Yes.
Okay, goodbye.
For sure. Now we can go.
There we go.